Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Microsoft Pulse. You're here with Matthew Ruderman, Thomas Duff, and myself, Tamara Bredemus. Unfortunately, Jen Mason had to step away to attend to some customers. And so you get we three as we go through the Microsoft roadmap to let you know what's new, what's changed, and how it's going to affect you. Now, the roadmap is broken down into four different parts for those of you who have not joined our sideshow before. It's broken down into in development, Microsoft is working on it, rolling out, it's starting to appear in target tenants, and launched. You should see it in your tenant if it was a targeted tenant now. Then we end with canceled or delayed features. So let's go ahead and get started. Matthew, do you want to start with what you find to be a delighter in development?
Tamara, I would love to, and it's going to be real fast because there's a whopping one security item this week that is in development. But I am happy to report a lot of security features come to standard worldwide first, and then eventually they might trickle into GCC, GCC High, or DoD. This item is actually coming to all of those, or at least it's being developed for all of those. So standard worldwide, GCC, GCC High, and DoD. And this is Microsoft Purview eDiscovery Tenant Level Process Report. The most intriguing title of a roadmap item I have ever read myself. So this is going to give eDiscovery administrators, easy to say, and managers a centralized view of the eDiscovery processes that they are running through Purview. If you've ever run an eDiscovery process in Purview, you get to see your own stuff, but it's difficult to see what are other people in the organization running from an eDiscovery perspective. So this is going to bring some unified reporting together for eDiscovery administrators and managers so they can understand what are all of the cases that they might have running for eDiscovery in their tenant, where those processes are at in running, and then who is running those processes. This will allow faster triage. Hopefully, it'll allow your organization to have less duplication of e-discovery processes, be a little kinder on the system, and it'll just give that clear end-to-end visibility, which I'm always a fan of administrators having clear understanding of what is going on in their tenant. And that's the
Brilliant.
only item. This is slated for allegedly release of in February of this year. So maybe
Great.
soon.
Yay. Tom, what do you like in development?
Two Copilot ones that I will cover really quickly. One is enabling watermarks for AI generated content for Microsoft 365 Copilot. Add watermarks to AI generated video, audio, and image gen content. I'm sure there are some major consulting firms that wish that had been in place before they were discovered to be that by their clients who got really irritated. So this is in development, coming out to basically Clipchamp, which is the video aspect of it, and Copilot worldwide, and that should be out in February. The other one is kind of cool in that newly created declarative agents now understand referenced scanned PDFs. So this is a fancy way of saying any newly created declarative agents may now reliably ground answers in scanned PDFs and image-based documents referenced in SharePoint, unlocking a major class of enterprise content that was previously hard to use in agent scenarios. So in effect, this is great in the fact that you can have an image of a document and say, I need you to make decisions or content or comment on this particular document, when in reality it's not a Word document, it's just a picture. It's able to go in there and grab those words and actually make decisions based on that as if it were text that it could read. I think that is an awesome thing. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. That one's in development for Worldwide Tenant and is coming out in February.
Great. I like three of them.
Wow, that'll cover the rest of them.
I know. Microsoft Entra ID account recovery. Why do I like this one? I have a little problem with my passwords. So, Microsoft Entra ID account recovery is an advanced authentication recovery mechanism that enables users to regain access to their organizational accounts when they've lost access to all registered authenticated methods. So, unlike traditional password reset capabilities, account recovery focuses on identity verification and trust reestablishment prior to replacement of authentication methods rather than a simple credential recovery. Now, this is not coming out until May, but I'm very excited about that. I would like to see it come out for more than just the standard tenant, but we can all have our hopes and dreams. And then we've got Microsoft SharePoint, a Microsoft 365 archive in GCCL. So, Microsoft 365 Archive is designed to help organizations manage their inactive data efficiently. It's going to allow you to move inactive SharePoint sites into a cold storage tier, which reduces storage costs while maintaining the same searchability, security, and compliance standards as active data. I see this as a win-win. This feature is already available in production and is now being released to the GCC cloud.
Yeah, we use that one. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that's April. So if you're in a standard environment, it's already there. If you're in GCC, you should see it in April. Finally, Outlook, new search folder types. I didn't even know you could do search folders. So I got really excited when I read this. Search folders are being moved to the settings experience in the new Outlook for web and Windows. And that's going to improve discoverability and alignment with modern organization workflows. In addition, Microsoft is expanding supported search folder types, including mail with attachments, old mail, and large mail. I'm sorry, it is spelled correctly in the description, but I'm like old mail, M-A-L-E, large mail, M-A-L-E, and more. It made it sound like Tinder for a moment there.
Sweep left, sweep left, sweep left.
Yep. Users will also gain the ability to filter search folders by specific folders, providing more precise or obsessive compulsive control over how email is organized and surfaced. So I found those three very interesting. So, Matthew, do you want to take us into rolling out?
Sure, I have more than one for this category.
Woohoo!
Which is great. I will start with Microsoft Purview, Insider Risk Management, Risky AI Usage. I'm a fan of all of these controls that Microsoft is helping to roll out to help us better understand what our users are doing with AI within our environment. I love Copilot. I use it all the time. I use it every day. But I do get concerned about what my users are doing with it. So this is going to help Insider Risk Management admins identify risky AI usage. Microsoft is adding detections for intentional and unintentional insider risk activity on generative AI apps that can pose a risk to your organization. Activities will include risky prompts containing sensitive info or risky intent, and sensitive responses containing sensitive info or content that is generated from sensitive files. This will span across Microsoft Copilots and 3P generative AI apps. It's also going to correlate various risk signals into the reporting to prevent inadvertent insider risks such as IP theft, data leaks, and security violations. If you're not a security nerd like me, this probably sounds very boring to you. But if you are a security nerd, this sounds very exciting. The great thing about this is it is slated to roll out this month, of which we don't have very long left. So hopefully it's going to drop soon. And much like the last item I talked about, it is coming to GCC, GCC High, and DoD tenants. So if you are in one of those more secure tenants, these risky AI usage reports are coming to you.
Okay, I was a little nervous about how I use Copilot at work. Now I'm
you're
really
terrified.
concerned about how
Now
I
you're
use
really nervous.
Copilot at work.
I think that users should always be thoughtful about how they're going to use their AI tools and what they're asking the AI tools. And remember, in a lot of cases, your administrator is watching.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a security nerd.
Correct. So the next two I'm going to batch together because they are very, very similar. And that is Microsoft Purview. Inline data security controls, DLP, for uploads to unmanaged Gen AI apps in Edge for Business, and more unmanaged apps for AI for Gen AI apps in Edge for Business. So essentially, what Microsoft is doing with these two items is they are adding protections into Edge for Business that will detect when you are uploading content into a Gen AI app that is unmanaged by your organization. So this isn't specifically talking about, say, Copilot. It's talking about other Gen AI services and apps that will give you the ability to understand what is being uploaded, right? Because it's going through Microsoft Edge, right? So there's essentially a connection point that Microsoft can monitor. And it is going to, admins are able to create alerts and reports off of these activities so they can better understand essentially what shadow AI might be happening inside of your organization. One of them specifically relates to file upload protections, and then the other one relates to some other file types that Microsoft will be able to sense with this new system. This is only coming to standard worldwide, at least for now. Both of these new features are slated to roll out again this month. So hopefully you should see them in your tenant very soon, assuming you're standard worldwide. That's all I got for rolling out.
Okay. How about you, Tom?
We've got 3 Copilot ones, which we will cover really quickly. In Outlook, agents for Microsoft 365 Copilots available in Copilot chat in Classic Outlook for Windows. I always find it nice when they give Classic Copilot or Classic Outlook a little bit of love. So this basically tracks availability in Classic Outlook for Windows. This is stuff you've already been able to do in new Outlook for Windows. So we got that going on. Then we have Copilot. Copilot chat in Outlook expands to reason over inbox, calendar, and enterprise data. And you're like, we can do that now, can't we? It's a little different in the fact that Copilot chat in Outlook expanding to reason over those, but it's doing that for Microsoft 365 Copilot chat users who don't have a Copilot license. So if you basically allow everybody to use Copilot chat, but you're not giving them a full-on Copilot license, they're going to be able to now to use that Copilot chat to reason over their inbox. And again, I think this is another one of those scenarios where they're letting you do more stuff with Copilot without a Copilot license because they really want you to get Copilot. I think there's a little bit of like a free like a puppy going on with some of these things. But that's rolling out this month, and it's coming out to the standard worldwide tenant. And then the final one, they're doing a chat history landing page filter UI refresh. To help you quickly find the conversations that matter, we're updating the chat history filtering experience. This refresh makes the interface simpler and makes it easier to clear filters when you need to. So if you're looking for that one conversation you had 3 weeks ago and you use it 15 times a day, perhaps this is going to help you find that more quickly and get back to it rather than sitting there and looking at endless scrolls to try to find that conversation that you had. And that's coming to everybody.
Great. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. I found 3 that I found exciting. So in Microsoft Teams, camera view switching in multiple camera Teams rooms on Windows. So when in a meeting with another Teams room on Windows that has multiple cameras, you can switch camera views in that room through the participant panel on the console. or video tile on a touchpad to optimize your views. Now that's coming out to standard in GCC. And then we have Outlook new third-party enriched properties available for customizing profile cards.
This one's cool.
Yeah. So customers can now customize their M365 profile cards by adding new properties such as cost center, role, employee type, which if my profile card had employee type, I would just have to put in all caps. Fabulous. All right. Employee ID.
I'm not sure that's going to be an
division.
option, dear.
I would make it an option. I know developers.
Oh.
These properties will show in the contact information section and can be ingested from external sources like the HR system so that user profiles are enriched with relevant information. And then finally, apps in private channels for Microsoft Teams. So bring the apps your team relies on. Tabs, bots, message extensions directly into private channels in Microsoft Teams. This update lets channel owners add apps to a specific private channel so everyone collaborating there, including invited collaborators from other teams or organizations, subject to admin policy, of course, can work in one place without switching context. I love that. Although I'm not crazy about the Teams crispy outer coating when you're looking at documents.
Okay.
Sounds like a SharePoint person to me.
Yeah. I am. I confess.
I'm still a SharePoint person, so I'm not
Okay.
judging.
All right. Matthew, what do you have in launched?
What do I have in launched? I have two juicy updates in launched. Both of these are coming only to standard worldwide. Sorry, GCC friends. Maybe you'll get these soon. The first one is Microsoft Purview, discovery of sensitive data sharing into cloud applications and websites, including GenAI, via the network layer. So this is again, like some of the other updates I gave earlier, this is another opportunity that Microsoft is giving to sense when you have sensitive data that is going from a user workstation to an application or a website or a GenAI service, and be able to sense that via your network layer as opposed to the endpoint layer or the application layer. And again, if you're not a network nerd or a security nerd, that just means that while the data is moving from point A to point B, Microsoft is going to have the ability to sense this. And again, it's going to give you the ability to correlate various signals to identify potential malicious or inadvertent insider risk, such as IP theft, data leaks, security violations. You'll be able to create custom policies and alerts to be able to sense this, tune it for your organization, right? You may have websites that your users are allowed to use, but you just may want to know if someone uploads something with, say, I don't know, a social security number or a driver's license number to it, right? Or another piece of sensitive content. This launched this month. The next one is Microsoft Purview, Insider Risk Management, enhancements to various limits and detection groups. Microsoft loves to launch services, and they usually will put like a low limit on those services to start off with, right? Get them up and running, give people the ability to use them, make sure those services aren't going to overtax their own servers, and then they like to increase limits over time to give more flexibility to organizations. The three of us have been working in the Microsoft space for quite a while, and I think we've all seen this with various things. To give a SharePoint example, right? When they first launched hubs, right? I think you were limited to 10 for your organization. Now you can have hundreds.
2,000. Just looked it up.
You can have thousands of hubs
Yeah.
in your organization. Thank you, Tamara. This is another situation. So the insider risk management, you will be able to increase your limit from 3 to 10 indicators and have an overall limit of 100 indicators within your organization. Along with this, the number of items one detection group can sense goes from 200 to 500. This, again, gives you a better understanding of what your users are doing and what user behavior patterns might exist that might indicate you have an insider who is risky. Risky insiders don't mean they're doing something malicious or they're a bad actor, but they might be showing behavior that might introduce additional risk to your organization. So these limit increases give you a better ability to identify those users. Maybe they need some coaching. Maybe they need some training. Maybe they just need to be told, hey, you're doing okay, but be careful about these things, right? All in the interest of trying to protect your organization. And again, this launched this month and came to standard worldwide tenants.
Great. Tom.
If you're a user of Viva Glint, you can now export the executive summary report in Viva Glint to editable PowerPoint slides, which is really great because that's the kind of information you like to present to people and you like to use PowerPoint to do it. So this enhancement allows for easier and quicker consumption of this report outside Viva Glint compared to the previous export method, which included static screenshots. And that's out there to the worldwide Viva.
Fabulous. And then in Planner, we've got task, chat, and mentions in basic plans. So task chat lets team members collaborate directly on tasks using rich text formatting and mentions, making it easier to discuss work and notify teammates on what needs attention. You know what else notifies teammates about stuff that needs attention? A phone call. Pick up the phone and talk to the people you work with.
But I work in IT. I don't want to talk to anybody.
I know. I was working with a person who's like, I've emailed this person 5 times and they won't get back to me. I'm like, pick up the phone.
Oh.
So that's another way to do an app mention is to actually dial their number.
We might be from a slightly different era because we actually talk on the phone.
Oh, yeah. I know. I hate typing with my thumbs.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
All right. In canceled, we have a couple, 3 Copilot, and they look like the same in Copilot.
Yeah, they're just not allowing you to create presentations with you can't you were going to be able to reference a Teams meeting when you were making a Copilot presentation in PowerPoint, updated as of 4 days ago. Nope, you're not going to get that. They're sorry for any inconvenience.
And they're so sorry. They mentioned it 3 times. Then we also have Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. Information protection enables admins to set default document library labels based on container label of a group, site, or team.
No, it doesn't.
It's not.
It's not. It's just
this
not.
feature
Sorry.
has been postponed indefinitely and has been canceled.
That's like, you
Double
know,
whammy.
I shot him once and then I went over and kicked him.
Oh, yeah.
I actually am sad this one got canceled because this one, from a security perspective and a sensitivity labeling, I was. I love better management of my data and better understanding of where my data lives and what type of data it is. And unfortunately, Microsoft doesn't want to let me with this feature.
No, you can't have nice things.
No.
No. All right. Well, that concludes the Microsoft roadmap. I'd like to thank Matthew and Tom for joining today and sharing their insights. And wherever you are, stay safe, stay warm, stay dry. All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.